All right. This time I have all the cards I need in this UVS deck list. Okay. Hello. I'm here today to, in a calm and composed manner, discuss not necessarily the Team Hero errata, but two cards that interact with it in weird ways that make me angry at how UVS rules work. Um, I've since calmed down since my first engagement in this. Um, So I can't say I don't do scripts because I'm lazy, and I think whenever I do stuff that's scripted, I get like weirdly nervous, but I can just go off the cuff just fine. Um, so this isn't necessarily scripted, but I've already hashed out all these thoughts already. So it's more composed than maybe the average Jet ramblings video is. So um, Team Hero got an errata, enhance remove, build a foundation with difficulty 4 from your discard pile, committed. This is a good change for the game, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is two cards that interact with this. The first one I'm going to talk about is my fighting style. Is response tenacious flip. After one or more rival foundations are built or readied, but that doesn't matter, during the combat phase, commit and freeze one of them. Now, when you use the Team Hero enhance, the response window on my fighting style opens, and you can use the response, but you won't be able to commit and freeze the foundation that is built. Well, why not? Well, in order to understand that, we're going to have to go to a card that's not currently in standard. So I'm assuming most people here know what this card does, but if you don't, Fast Hybrid Chimera Kraken has a bunch of text, but the only one that matters is that second enhance. Commit and freeze a rival foundation. It has been ruled that if you use the second enhance on Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken to commit and freeze a rival foundation, you cannot. I am going to use the word select a committed a foundation that is already committed. UVS doesn't have targeting in the way that, say, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic does. It's not like you play an effect, you declare your targets, and it goes on the chain or on the stack. You play an effect and it does the thing. So how and when do I choose which foundation I am committing and freezing? There was a thread that came up in main chord in the ruling questions that was answered primarily, I will say, by Nick Reagan, who described it like this. When you play an ability in universes, your selection for the card effect is made in the first instruction. So when Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken tells you to commit and freeze a rival foundation, you are selecting a foundation to commit. And then afterwards, the freeze that rival foundation will refer back to the foundation that you committed. Now, there is a part in the rules. I have pulled up the most recent version of the rulebook here, and I've got 3 separate instances that I will be sharing. There's a part of the rules that says effects do as much as they can, even if it is not possible to do the whole effect. It's possible for an effect to do nothing at all. For example, if your opponent has 0 ready foundations and you use the second enhance, it does nothing. You can still play the enhance, it doesn't do anything. But if you're thinking, well, if you want to do as much as you can, even if it's not possible to do the whole effect, why would you not be able to just commit and freeze a committed rival foundation? And the reason for that is because a committed card cannot be committed. Now, in the world where we're parsing the effect like this, I think it makes some amount of sense. If you are trying to commit and then freeze something, and a committed card can't be committed, you can't choose a committed card to commit and then freeze, because it's already committed, and a committed card can't be committed. I do think this is largely bullshit and makes no intuitive sense. But in the world of tedium and legalese that Universus wants to exist in for some arbitrary reason, I think this is okay. I think this is fine. In my card gamer history of like 12 plus years, I have always been the rules gamer. I just have that kind of autism. When I played Magic, when I played Yu-Gi-Oh, when I played Dragon Ball Masters, when I played One Piece, like basically every card game that I played, I have always been the guy that will be at locals and sit there. I have the rule book already pulled up on my phone, just saved tab or whatever, and would go, someone would come up with a question and I would scour the rule book to find the answer. And in my career, I can think of maybe like one time where I genuinely couldn't find an answer. And I could think of maybe like 3 times total where I've been like actively wrong while I was like hardcore playing the game. There's been a couple times in Magic now that I'm not really a Magic player where I've been like vague guess and it's been wrong, but that's because I don't play the game anymore. But you should the point that I'm saying is that I'm good at this. I'm typically very good at this. Um, Universes, however, the rulebook exists and does a passable job sometimes. However, there are a lot of pieces of knowledge that you would require in order to be a rules omnibus that simply exist in the form of X designer said Y thing in Z Discord, or X head judge made Y ruling at Z event, and you just have to know that, and that's your precedent and the only thing that points towards the correct thing. And that's basically what the vast hybrid chimera kraken ruling is. There's nothing in the rule book that says that's how it works. That you can't in order to select something for the effect, you have to be able to commit it in order to freeze it and so on and so forth. If you know that's how it works, then it's somewhat intuitive. I would argue it's still dumb and wrong, but oh well. I want to say, I'm saying stuff like dumb and wrong and bullshit. This is not me attempting to, like, begrudge UVS games or John Rules of Universes, whoever that may be, or any of the judges that work in this game. This is just me kind of complaining about the company not caring enough about the rules as a whole. Because I do believe there's got to be someone on the universe's team that cares about the rules in some way like I do, that would rather have a fully coherent rule book that, regardless of your question, should be able to meaningfully answer it. Um, I truly believe there's got to be someone like that on the team, and it's just about giving them the resources to be able to make it instead of, working on Tekken or Fairy Tail or what have you. Um, so, anyways, we've established how this commit and freeze thing works. In order to select a foundation to commit and then freeze, because they go in that order, you have to be able to commit something in order to then use the freeze portion, because that is referential to the foundation that was selected for the commit. Okay, we're back to Team Hero Enhance. It builds and committed now. My fighting style. After one or more rival foundations are built during the combat phase, commit and freeze one of them. Your rival builds a card during a foundation or the combat phase. You use the response, and you try to commit and freeze one of them. It's the same thing. You are trying to select one of them to commit and then freeze. Because it's already committed, you can't commit it, so then you can't freeze it. I didn't pull this up in the rules, and I told myself I wasn't going to talk about it, but I am mad about it. A game event is something that opens a response window. Committing something and freezing something open 2 separate response windows. They are 2 separate game events and should be treated as 2 separate things that refer to the same card regardless. You are able to do as much as you can. You should be allowed to try and commit a committed card for no effect because you can play abilities that do nothing. That's my rant on that, and that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, my fighting style does not work effectively on the Team Hero Enhance now that it's been errata. Fine, whatever. Same logic as Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken. I get it. It's built in some ancient twisted language that I took 2 months of Duolingo in, and people are asking me, and in order to fully parse it, you have to be fluent in it, which nobody is. And the people that are experts on the language either don't respond or don't interact, from what I gather. So that sucks. But whatever. So there's a similar card. Caught misbehaving. from Girl Power, also in Standard. Response flip. After your rival builds a foundation in the combat phase, flip and commit it. So, Team Hero Enhance, build it, committed, opens the response window. After your rival builds a foundation in the combat phase, flip and commit it. So you read this and you're like, oh, okay. Well, it's not flipped, so I can flip it because another part of the rulebook, you can't flip a card that's already flipped. So they build a card, it's face up, you flip it, and then you try to commit it. And because it would referentially refer to the last one, you can still try to commit it because you've already begun executing the effect to flip and commit it. And so you're like, okay, this makes sense. And so then this stemmed from a conversation I had in David Cord where I got very angry because I'm that kind of person and I'm omega autistic about the rules. And I was like, okay, I have a follow-up question. If my opponent uses the bottom blitz on Queen of the Monsters to build a card from their card pool face down, can I respond with caught misbehaving to flip and commit it even though it's already face down? Now, we're going to start with just understanding where we're at so far. You cannot flip a flipped card, so the response on caught misbehaving would then not work because you can't flip and commit it because you can't flip it first. This is how I believe it is currently being ruled. Not that there's been a head judge that has confirmed this at an event. Just I have spoken to one judge and they were like, that's how it works. I spoke to George. No, then this is not flame to George or any other person who was involved in that conversation who made a this is how the rules work statement. I understand the rules are complicated and they change all the time. Look at Invisible Infiltration. It didn't work on assets and backups, and then it did. And the reason was oh no, my dog. No, please chill out. Okay, my dog should be chill now. And I'm going to say this is wrong. The reason that Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken cannot be used on committed cards is because the way you are selecting a foundation to execute the effect on is through commit. When it tells you to commit one rival foundation and then freeze it. Caught misbehaving is selecting a foundation to act upon by using the first line of the response after your rival builds a foundation during the combat phase. The rival foundation that Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken is referring to, and the one of them that my fighting style is referring to, is chosen when you are committing the foundation. Caught misbehaving's foundation that you are flipping committing, the it, is chosen after your rival builds a foundation during the combat phase. If effects do as much as they can, this effect is always executing on the same foundation regardless of the properties of it. If effects do as much as they can, if my opponent builds a ready face-down foundation during the combat phase, I can respond caught misbehaving. It will attempt to flip it, not do anything because a flipped card can't be flipped, and then commit it. Because it knows what foundation we're talking about because it is the foundation my rival built during the combat phase that opened this response window. This is the same logic. If your opponent has a ready frozen foundation, you can commit and freeze it with Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken. From my perspective, by the logic of being able to commit and freeze a ready frozen rival foundation with Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken, or with my fighting style, if you somehow build in a ready frozen foundation, caught misbehaving should work on literally everything that triggers its response. I think that's about what I got. I did have a crash out video that I recorded in my car driving home from work today about this because this conversation in David Court happened. I'm about to rant to myself in my car for like 30 minutes about this, and someone was like, yo, record that. And I'm like, you're a genius. Thank you, Thomas. And so I I got a little heated because my vocabulary has been poisoned and I know a lot of words and I just don't use them. And instead, I say things that are probably not safe for YouTube video that I'm going to post in main chord. Um, if you want access to that video, I will be posting an unlisted version of it. So you can't find it on my channel normally, but you can access it with the link. If you want the link to that video, I did not think about this before. So let's see. Um, your favorite 2-card combo in standard right now. Like, I don't know what that would entail, but like Overdrive Uppercut plus Godzilla vs. Biolante. Sure, that works. You play it, you get the momentum, you echo it, it's face down, you play another move, you clear it and draw a card. That's cool. I wouldn't say that's my favorite. Or like Botons and Bleak Commentary. You got Bleak Commentary face down, you flip Botons, they discard and draw, and then you respond and they discard a card. Something like that. DM me or at me in one of the Discords your favorite 2-card combo in standard, and I will send you the link to the B side, if you will, the director's cut of what this video is. And in general, if you have thoughts about this, add me in any of the Discords at JetJaguar, DM me, comment on this video, whatever. It's like I said, the rules of this game are held together by paper clips and duct tape, and it makes me sad because I like this game a lot and I want it to be better. But yeah, that's what I got. So thank you for watching, and yeah, if you want the original version with more rage, more unbridled rage, tell me your favorite 2-card combo in standard. Thanks.